Hey guys, so today's project is this sheared tube top I made for my toddler. I had made this skirt out of a curtain and I had some material left over, so I decided to try this project. First of all, these are the settings on my sewing machine. It is the widest stitch at 5 center for the needle and just a straight stitch. I wound the bobbin by hand and I just kind of tried not to do it tightly and not loosely either, I guess just right. And it never gave me a problem. It worked perfectly. I was so worried that some error was going to happen, something was going to go wrong, but I just let it just kind of sit on my table and I just wandered it around and it was perfect. So the material, like I said, this was some leftover curtain. The top was already finished because it was the bottom of the original curtain, and the bottom I just serged the bottom and folded it over eventually. So I'm just measuring right now just to show you guys how much material I had to use. I did go by the lines on the shirt to decide how wide my lines were going to be, approximately 3/4 of an inch apart. You can tell all those blue lines so that I know where I want to sew. So this is my first line. This is what it looks like, and it looks pretty loose at the beginning, but as you start sewing more rows across, you're going to see that it definitely gets tighter. So this is me almost finishing the skirt, straight stitch, widest stitch, needle at the center, and you just kind of just let it run through. You just, like regular thread, there's no magic trick to it, I think. And this is what it starts to look like after a while. You can see my markings a little bit closer, and this is the finished product. This is what it should look like at the end. Now, when I had this, I decided to measure how much material the finished product was at, and it ended up being about 22 inches. So remember, originally my piece was 47 inches. So I folded it in half, decided how wide I needed it, but if you look at the ends, you can tell that elastic wants to go back. Like, it doesn't want to be stretched. So I feel like either you need to have excess material or account for that when you do your tube top, because I didn't know it the first time around, and this is how bad it looked the first time. You can see the elastic is just like, no, I want to go back. So I had to take it in a little bit more. Luckily, it's very forgiving. And I did a serge and a straight stitch, and I was able to get the back a little cleaner, a little nicer. But I did have to take it in because that just kept happening at the ends. So definitely plan out for that to happen. Turn it right side out, and now you're ready for your straps. Now your straps are, I just took a big piece of fabric, and it measures about 22 inches or 23 inches. And I went ahead and I just right side, folded it right side, straight stitched across, kind of trim the ends, close to one end of it off. That's going to be what's going to be at the top when I tie the bow. And I made 4 of these. Now I have this cool little tool that will turn all of these inside out for me. I no longer have to deal with like safety pins or anything to try to turn it inside out. I have this tool. You just put it in, kind of tuck it in there, and it will just automatically just turn itself right side out. It is a huge time saver if you do a lot of straps. So these are my 4 straps. I just did a straight stitch where I wanted them to go and just place them front and back, and that's it. That is the finished tube top. That was so easy to make, a great project, and definitely looks cute with that skirt.